What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris, going to be casting game number 3. We have OverAchievers on the Radiant, DoubleClickDota on the Dire. This is the Amateur Dota 2 Invitational, Amateur Dota 2 League, AD2L League Invitational. And, well, we got to a game 3, and it looks like both teams going to go with what worked. DoubleClickDota opened up with the Invoker for their first game, I think, if I remember correctly. No, they didn't. That was actually OverAchievers. So I'm wrong. Never mind. But OverAchievers, they're going to go with what worked. They get the Dazzle, they get the Slardar, and hey, it worked last game. And if it's not broken, then there's no reason why you should fix it. Lots of minus armor means lots of damage. Their tri-lane was a little bit weird, so I don't really know if I would run that in the exact same way if I was them, but if I was on their team. But regardless, Slardar as well as Dazzle, definitely the popular, they're cool kids, at least at this stage of Dota. I think eventually they'll fall off again. I mean, they've been the same for pretty much ever. I mean, Dazzle got a slight tweak. I don't think Slardar actually got touched, but he's seeing a lot of play. So, I mean, can't argue with that. It's a clear example of metagame, guys. It's a clear example of metagame. DoubleClick, gonna go with the Invoker as well as Visage, picking up some pretty powerful heroes in their own rights as well. We saw an Exhort Invoker being played by the Coven in game number 1. Maybe we'll see something different from the DoubleClickDota side. It really depends on how much Disable they have. I mean, the Exhort Invoker was in large part due to the fact that they had a Naga Siren Rubik Kunkka tri-lane, add a Sunstrike on top of that, and you would think it would be overkill, but it actually didn't work at all like that. So with a Slardar as well as Dazzle, you may be more inclined to pick up a Wex build Invoker. EMPing a Slardar just makes him the saddest hero in the world. Like, he doesn't do that much damage, you can't crush. He could bash you, maybe, but yeah, he's one of those heroes that you would argue going for Wex Invoker is the correct decision, just because he has such a low mana pool, and he is pretty reliant on his mana as well. And of course, you have the Visage. What is there to say about Visage that hasn't already been said? He is one of the best supports in the game just because of how much damage he could do. He has so much utility from his familiars. Those double stomps, probably not as glorious as Soul Assumptions from half a screen away, but hey, it gets the job done. It holds the enemies out, it messes with them, it disrupts their fights just a little bit, and sometimes that's just all you need, especially when you have an Invoker behind you. But Ancient Apparition, now the Lone Druid being banned out from the OverAchievers. I mean, it wasn't really that threatening, so I don't really think that Respect ban is really warranted. Ancient Apparition receiving a little bit more hate in this particular game. Timbersaw still on the field. I think DoubleClickDota will probably want to pick that one up. Centaur, of course, first ban, just going through all the heroes that we've seen in the previous games. DoubleClick, yeah, really both sides could do well with the Timbersaw. Probably more so DoubleClick. Visage, Timbersaw, Invoker, they all go to separate lanes, so they don't really play together. But still, pretty powerful opening lineup. DoubleClick deciding to ban out the Viper, possibly just protecting their Invoker in the mid lane just a little bit. I mean, there's really no other reason to pick Viper, just because ban Viper at this stage, usually you would see it banned out last. Unless the enemy team is really just coordinating that they want to go for Viper. But if they really wanted Viper, they would have picked it up earlier. So they're going to pick their Invoker just a little bit with that Viper ban out. And OverAchievers is going to finalize their second round of bans with the Clockwork ban, which Crisea has been playing, or did play pretty well in game number 1. So OverAchievers, they're so far getting what they want, which is, I think, just lots of aggression, lots of minus armor. Shadow Fiend has not been banned out. Looks like DoubleClick are not too scared about that just yet. And OverAchievers, they have a pretty blank slate as of right now, so it's not really the end of the world if they don't pick up a Shadow Fiend. They're going to first go for Nyx Assassin. I'm thinking this might be their solo lane. Support Nyx Assassin is definitely a thing, but Nyx Assassin, Dazzle, Slardar, I don't know how I feel about that. I guess the Heal Bomb gets a little bit stronger with another melee hero in the lane. You get a little bit more stun if you could land the Impale, though, and that's generally a pretty big if. I like the ranged, the more guaranteed click disable kind of thing, like Crystal Maiden and Vengeful Spirit, stuff like that. But hell, if you could land the stun, then more power to you. Nyx Assassin is definitely a little bit more of a mid-game powerhouse. But that's one wonky tri-lane if they decide to run it as such. But hey, wonky is apparently what works for the OverAchievers, so might as well go with what works, right? DoubleClick, they're going to go for an entirely different route. They're going to go for an Enchantress. Haven't seen her in picked or banned in the previous 2 games. It's going to get them a lot of early game pressure, and I think that's just what they need against this Slardar pickup. I mean, Slardar, their last game, Slardar, their tri-lane was really, really weird, and DoubleClick, they really couldn't punish that fact just because they had a lone druid. So if they go for the same thing, if OverAchievers go for the exact same thing, or I mean slightly different, but or exact the same, what have you, if they lane Slardar, Dazzle, X Hero, whether it's Nyx Assassin or otherwise, in the same way, this Enchantress is going to have a field day. Because Visage is going to be there to provide the more active babysitting. He'll be there poking, he'll be there, just trying to mess with the enemies. They'll have whatever carry hero they want to pick up. Obviously hasn't been picked up just yet. But then once Enchantress comes around, just with, 1 Centaur, all of a sudden the lane just is a complete mess for the OverAchievers. They'll have to split their attention so many ways, and when you have to split your attention as Slardar, then you are going to have a bad time. You want to be able to focus one target at a time, be really clear on who you're focusing, but having a Centaur come in, an enchanted Centaur from the Enchantress, come in at such an early point, and your attention is going to be split, and there's no way to avoid that. So I think if DoubleClickDota do that in response to OverAchievers, what they have right now, then it's going to be great, but looks like, that actually changes things a little bit. Crystal Maiden with a Frostbite is going to mean that Enchantress is not going to have the game that she really wants. Frostbite lasts for about 3 years on enchanted creeps, on all neutral creeps, really. So a pretty good, I would say, soft counter for that Enchantress. Would also give them a much better avenue in actually getting in those fights. I think Crystal Maiden with her longer range Crystal Nova probably going to be a little bit more valuable to the Slardar as far as getting in there for a crush than the Shackle from the Shadow Shaman last game. This is probably going to push the Nyx Assassin into a solo role. Whether or not OverAchievers want to lane their tri-lane aggressively or not, really up to what carry the DoubleClickDota side picks up. I guess they might feel that there's some timing windows that they hit where the Enchantress is just jungling, so they figure the Enchantress isn't here, we might as well go kill whoever else is in the lane. And the Darkseer pickup not going to make things any easier for the OverAchievers in deciding how they're going to lane this. It could just as well be a Nyx Assassin mid. I mean, that's definitely a thing. Versus Invoker, not the best lane for the Nyx Assassin, but still he's completely functional in that role. Darkseer will definitely handle a lane by himself, and Darkseer versus Nyx Assassin, that is definitely a lane that is slanted towards the Darkseer. Nyx Assassin can't really compete with that much damage output, especially if Darkseer gets a quick soul ring before the mana burns really start to take their toll. So OverAchievers now, there's a lot of options for the OverAchievers right now, and DoubleClick, they have just a strong setup in general. So it's up to OverAchievers to figure out what hero will best allow their lineup to counter this very strong lineup of DoubleClick. Like, they put Nyx Assassin mid, but then you have a Darkseer running rampant on a solo lane. Then who deals with that? You could put Slardar, Dazzle, Crystal Maiden over there, but then you have to deal with the Enchantress Visage, someone else. They have a Clockwork banned out, they'll need another hard lane hero. It's just a huge elaborate mind game right now for the OverAchievers, and DoubleClick, they're just sitting pretty. I mean, they have a pretty clear-cut way of laning this. It's Invoker mid, Enchantress Visage, X carry hero in a tri-lane, whether aggressive or not. Probably defensive, given that there's an Enchantress. And then Darkseer handling the lane by himself. It's easy for them. They'd have to decide what carry to pick. OverAchievers, they're not... Are they going to go for a Shadow Fiend? Oh, yes, that would make my day. Shadow Fiend, throw Nyx Assassin to the Darkseer, say good luck. I hope you do well. Get a lot of minus armor. Wreck the Darkseer. Kill the Enchantress in 3 hits. Burst her down? You got it. I'll burst her down with right clicks. That's the dream, guys. That is the absolute dream.
Reserve time.
30 seconds left and OverAchievers. Oh, yeah, there we go. Shadow Fiend. Once again, it won them the last game, right? So... mid lane, Shadow Fiend versus Invoker Wars. Nyx Assassin probably going to go toe-to-toe with the Darkseer. Slardar, Crystal Maiden, Dazzle. And DoubleClick, I don't think this is really going to change much for them. I mean, OverAchievers, they'll have a lot of physical damage pretty much no matter what. And DoubleClick, they need someone to be in that lane farming. Versus the Slardar, Crystal Maiden, Dazzle. I want to see something like a Drow, but I know that won't be the best pickup for them. That's just me being, wanting to see fun Dota. They don't have much time. Drow Ranger won't be the worst. And there's a lot of benefits to her aura, but they're going to go for Spectre. Okay, so Overachievers, this is a clear green light. If they were having any doubt before, there's none now. You gotta shut down the Spectre. And unlike last game, Spectre versus Lone Druid, Spectre can't actually do anything in lane. I mean, she's soft, she doesn't have any range. I guess she has the dagger, which is something, but it's not really that much. She doesn't have a bear, which would be pretty ridiculous if she did. I would love to play that hero. Ability draft maybe one day. But yeah, Artie is definitely going to struggle against this tri-lane. Overachievers will have a much easier time this game than last, even though there is now an Enchantress on the field. Artie will have to be very lucky in order for this lane to go well for him. Let's get the announcers. Bastion, best announcer. If you disagree, you're wrong. I'm sorry. But here we go. We are in game number 3, the final game between Overachievers and DoubleClickDota. This is the Amateur Dota League Invitational. And this is, of course, sponsored by the good people over at Pro Build Systems, so be sure to check them out. Be sure to buy the ticket, and while I am plugging those guys and the ticket, oh my god, that was the longest impale of all time. Senj is in so much trouble. The crush, though, not in time, getting body blocked. Just a little bit of a Papa Kircher, but Poison Touch, will it be enough? Senj will get stunned. They're going to level 1 tower dive, because why not? Might as well go for it. Reaper gets first blood by killing off Senj. Alright, so that right there is a reason why you should buy the ticket. It's only $4, you get a courier, and you get to see stuff like that happen. And who could say no to stuff like that? Overachiever is getting first blood for their slaughter. He's almost at boots already. Lane's going to go well for them, but it looks like they are going to actually... Okay, they're going to lane this defensively.
Here we go.
So they're going to have a... Maybe they figure that the Nyx Assassin will lose too much of the Darkseer to lane it like that, but... I think if you lane it aggressively last game, you definitely should lane it aggressively this game against the Spectre. Who knows? I mean, as I said before, they have a lot of options. Havoc Badger's going to be jungling as the Crystal Maiden, so I guess he's guaranteed, at least a little bit of free golden experience. There's nothing really that the DoubleClick side can do. But oh no, their DoubleClick got mind gamed. They're expecting a tri-lane up top, but it's just going to be a Nyx Assassin versus a Darkseer, so. One of these teams is unhappy. I'm not too sure which one. Let's quickly go over who's playing what. Reaper is on the slaughter, already drew first blood. Colonel Cracklebags once again on the Dazzle, already went over the Crystal Maiden. The Coven once again on the Shadow Fiend. Top lanes Papa Kirchers, Nyx Assassin. On the DoubleClick side, they got mind gamed. They mind gamed themselves. Who knows? We have Crusade on the Darkseer. Mid lane is going to be played by Admiral Ray. Artie on the Spectre, and Senj on the already dead once Visage. Wind Pulse. Sorry, I thought I left something on. Wind Pulse is going to be on the Enchantress as the last 2.5 lane hero. I say 2.5 because the Crystal Maiden is kind of in the lane, but not really. Enchantress is going to go hunting. It looks like she wants to go for an early kill on the Shadow Fiend. Early Invoker is pretty useless. I mean, I guess a Sunstrike really hurts no matter what, but Wind Pulse is definitely waiting for this Crystal Maiden, but Crystal Maiden is not going to have any part of it. So Wind Pulse, is he going to level 1 dive this? I mean, it's not for first blood, so I don't think the risk is actually worth it. He has a slow, he has a Hellbear. It's a lot of damage, and Shadow Fiend's a soft hero. Here's the time to go. Go, go, go. But the smoke gets dispelled, and now the Coven gets Cold Snap. The Slam actually misses. The enchant is there. Wind Pulse taking a lot of damage from creeps, however. The Coven will get hit by the Sunstrike, and the Hellbear won't make it happen. Admiral Ray taking tower shots, Wind Pulse taking tower shots, but in the end, the Shadow Fiend salves up, gets some tangos, and he will return right back into the lane. A good attempt from the DoubleClick side. If that slam landed from the... oh my... Okay, well, Shadow Fiend just gets a right-click in on Admiral Ray, who decided not to use any of his regeneration. That should not have happened, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. That definitely should not have happened. But yeah, if the slam landed... Is this still called slam? I have no idea if it was ever called slam. I'm just calling it slam. If the stomp landed from that Hellbear, that would have been a free kill for DoubleClick. But instead... Invoker taking one too many tower shots, getting punished by a level 2 raise. I think 2 of them possibly, and well, ended up giving another kill to the Overachievers side. There has been a little bit of a lane swap now, so definitely DoubleClick mind gaming themselves, not expecting the defensive tri lane to come out from the Overachievers. So now they have the lanes that they actually want, but Nyx Assassin is already level 4. And Spectre's only level 3. In a lane scenario like that, this is a lane that Nyx Assassin just wins. Because you can see Artie, he has Poor Man's Shield, so he's taking a little bit of reduced damage from this Nyx Assassin, but Nyx Assassin is almost at his Arcane Boots. He has 800 gold 3 minutes in. That's some pretty outrageous farm for an off-lane hero, no matter really who you are. He got the early assist, which is, I guess, something to add to his pool of money. But if he lands an Impale right now, he's going to put a lot of hurt on Artie. No, he's going to settle for just getting this early set of Arcane Boots. Once he has that, Impales will fly non-stop. And Spectre's not going to be under the most pressure in the game. Like, she could be potentially up against a Slardar, Dazzle, Crystal Maiden lane. And that's definitely a lot worse than a early Arcane Boost Nyx Assassin. But still, Spectre just needs so much space, and with Wind Pulse jungling, with Senj, doing this, the pulling stacking action, the Nyx Assassin is going to run wild. And here we go. Xayah already used Surge. The Crush is there. He has level 1 Bash. Can we see any Hax Bashes? No, not going to happen. Okay, well, sometimes that happens. Havoc Badger, though. Oh, the Ion Shell almost killing off Havoc Badger. Slardar coming in big with his Crush, saving the Crystal Maiden, saving the Damsel. And now salving up, has 7 Magic Wand charges as well. This is just going OverAchievers' way in every single possible way. In the meantime, mid lane, Coven trying to get a kill onto Admiral Ray. Sunstrike will whiff. And the Coven will be forced to back off. In the meantime, bottom lane, Artie going to get impaled once again. There is enough gold for Papa Kercher to buy his Arcane Boots. And I'm sure he'll get that one as soon as he can get his way back up to the side shop. Although, it's probably just worth it getting it now. I mean, if you die, you lose that gold, and then you are sad because you don't have those boots. Although, Arcane Aura, it's something. It's definitely something. Slardar having some trouble versus this Darkseer. Eventually, Darkseer will be nerfed enough so that you will never see him again. But today is not that day. Really exerting his dominance in this 1v2.5 lane. Reaper forced to get healed constantly by this Dazzler because these Ion Shells are, grinding the creep wave up so fast, putting the creeps in the tower. Slardar's got to take Ion Shell hits, going to take the creep hits as well. And the Coven now has to deal with a Satyr Tormentor. Everything is bad for OverAchievers in their lanes, but they're still getting the kills regardless. They're just not having a fun time about it. They're still getting their creeps. Net worth is in their favor by quite a large margin, actually. Inspector's getting some decent farm, but really, it's not enough to say that everything's fine for the DoubleClick side. And now Havoc Badger with a Haste Rune right behind. No, it's okay. Well, I thought the Haste Rune's Crystal Maiden would get a kill, but instead, it'll be Nyx Assassin getting a solo kill on the Visage. That is not supposed to happen either. Papa Kercher is just making miracles happen. I guess it was just an Impale into a Vendetta hit, and 0 base armor on Visage. Maybe Gravekeeper's Cloak got burned through some way, but now Artie's in a lot of trouble as well. Why is he so low on health? I don't really know. But Nyx Assassin is going to YOLO dive this. Here we go. Artie salving up, though, and Nyx Assassin is going to be deterred because of that. It's 4-0 and DoubleClick. This is not the start they really wanted. They wanted to play super defensive and ensure that their Spectre gets all the farm in the world. And to be fair, the Spectre is farming pretty well. But if all your other lanes are dying, then a farm Spectre, it might win you single-handedly the game, but not when there is a Shadow Fiend and a Slardar on the other end who are having just as fun of a time. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough unless DoubleClick can actually get some ganks going. And this is a good attempt. Wind Pulse has the right creeps. 2 Dark Troll Summoners, and Papa Kercher does not have Vendetta. I think this will be the death of the Nyx Assassin. DoubleClick will finally get on the board. There is the Spike Carapace, but will it be enough? Most definitely will not be. Senj Visage, once again, he went 9-1-9 in the first game. He's going to start his streak now. It starts right now. 9-2-9. A little bit worse, but still just as good. Papa Kercher oversetting just a little bit too much, but that's really the power that I was talking about of the Enchantress. She could come out with just so much power so early on. Like, she could have done that so much earlier also, in theory. Of course she didn't, because the creeps didn't line up that way. She tried for that. She was in the enemy jungle, first of all, so that's a pretty big reason why things didn't go that way. But yeah, if there was an aggressive tri-lane, then Overachievers would have to deal with stuff like that, and that would just be not fun for them. Admiral Ray has phase boots completed. Actually has gone for a Wex build after the 1 point Exort. Usually we really don't see that, but I guess he just wanted a little bit more base damage, try to shut down the Shadow Fiend from getting his initial souls. By the way, he's going to go for a Wex build and burn some mana. I think it's the correct decision. They don't really have that much lockdown, so Sunstrikes will be pretty difficult to land. He's already missed a couple. To be fair, those are just freehand Sunstrikes. There was absolutely no setup. There was just, wild Sunstrikes off of cold snaps, and those are pretty difficult to land. So Wex build, definitely, I would say, the correct build for the Invoker, but I mean, you can have a lot of mobility, but Slaughter already has his Blink Dagger. It's 8 minutes, and he has a Blink Dagger. there is a Vendetta capable, let's say, Nick Assassin on the field. Admiral Ray does have a sentry ward in this lane, and well, there's ward coverage everywhere for the double click side. Papa Kircher is going to go hunting, and he will probably not find anyone. If he does find anyone, it might even turn against him. So probably in the long run better for him. Cresea is going to find the Shadow Fiend, who's going to find the the regen rune. Will bottle it up. Here comes Havoc Badger with a frostbite onto Cresea, and these raises will actually miss. I think he used the wrong raise there. Cresea is going to get away. No, he will get stunned up. That changed the poison touch, getting a kill.
My congregation shrinks.
I think he used medium long, where he should use medium close and killing off the Darkseer.
Do something about that bottom
But
tower.
either way, Shadow Fiend, he does die, which kind of sucks, but they got a Darkseer in exchange. Darkseer doing pretty well, so although the Shadow Fiend is a little bit more valuable to the Overachievers than the Darkseer is to DoubleClick, it's, you know, pretty even. Slightly in favor of DoubleClick. And DoubleClick definitely need it. They definitely do. So let the Shadow Fiend farm, he will mess you up later on. The minus armor is going to eventually come together. Reaper still receiving his farm on the bottom lane. Darkseer doing his best to stop him, but really, the Slaughter has really dealt with the worst of it. He has his Blink Dagger, so if the Darkseer really gets out of hand, he can just say, screw it, I'm going to leave, buy a TP Scroll and the Power Treads, and then just kill people all over the map. Unfortunately for Overachievers, they don't have the element of surprise, but, you know, you can only ask for so much, I suppose. Papa Kircher does have his Vendetta up, and this looks like a very, very tasty Centaur. Centaur versus Bugs. We know who wins in the bear fight, but here we go. There's the huge initiation onto the Spectres. Two hero stomp, but really, that's not enough. Nick Assassin demolishing that Spectre. She has quite a bit of gold, but in the long run, it's not going to be enough. Crush onto the Centaur. Centaur's going to go down. Oh, actually denied. Wind Pulse turning on his own creeps. What a cruel master. But Blink Dagger is up on Slaughter once again, and Senj, he has to know about this. Slaughter can and probably will end up diving this Visage. Blink Crush means a very easy follow-up. There's the amplified damage. Frost Nova going for scout. There's the Blink Crush, and Senj is going to get absolutely demolished. Impale will kill him off. Vacuum back onto Slaughter won't be enough. The Wind Pulse is here. The Crush once again will miss. Papa Kircher, though, taking a lot of damage from this Ion Shell and the Surge on the Hellbear. Here comes the Spectre. Who is he going to haunt in on? Looks like it's going to be Papa Kircher. Yes. Where did he go? Yes, it was Papa Kircher. He's going to secure that kill. And now Havoc Badger on the way out as well. Probably need a body bag for this Crystal Maiden. The Surge, after the stun, it's actually not going to do much of anything at all. Havoc Badger still on the run, has a Frostbite in tower range. He's in tower range. Already can take so much damage. There's a Mana Burn. However, he's now out of mana for the Impale. If Nick Assassin held it for just a couple more seconds, just like half a second, and that would have been a stun on the Spectre. That would have been a guaranteed kill. But miscounted his mana just a little bit. They lose the Slaughter 7-3 though. Overachievers still definitely in the driver's seat in this particular game. Getting a couple kills in exchange for just one. It could be a lot worse, especially since Shadow Fiend is going to probably definitely take down this tower. Double damage Shadow Fiend is no joke, and Admiral Ray, you could try to defend this. Maybe if you land your entire combination, that could maybe kill Shadow Fiend or deny it. Well, there's a tornado, a little bit too late. We'll dispel the double damage rune. Now they're going to go toe-to-toe. Admiral Ray is going to break the Ghost Walk. No, what are you doing, Admiral Ray? Why? Reaper's is also going to find Senj on the top side, and Senj is going to be just fine. Did he? He done goofed, I think. He invoked the wrong skill. Okay, Senj. Juking challenge mode. They see you. Can you juke him anyway? It's hard. It's really hard, and he's not going to do it. But now, Colonel Cracklebag is going to open up a can of whoop-ass onto Wind Pulse, who's going to get surged away. No, it won't happen. He's going to get blown up in an instant. Now Crazia is also going to go into the hole of death. Don't go in there. Yes, run the other way. There's a Blink Crush, though, and he's not going to escape either. There's another person teleporting in. Who wants in on this meat grinder, really? 2 people already died. 3 people have already died. How much more death must there be before people realize that this is not a safe place? They have to pull these creeps off of the Crystal Maiden so she can get out, but this tower is also going to go down. That's 2 towers down in the span of like 2-3 minutes for the Overachievers, 12-3. And, well, they were ahead. Now they are substantially ahead, even more so once this tower goes down. Shadow Fiend just collecting the enemy's ancients. This game is going to go for a Shadow Blade. Tornado going to fly through. The tower is in deny range. Reaper has a Blink Dagger, though. There's a Blink for the tower destruction, and he's going to, well, get denied because of that Ghost Walk. And Reaper's going to try to TP out with the Shallow Grave. He will get stunned up because of that Cold Snap. He's going to go down. Will there be any more? Senj does not have his Grave Chill up just yet. Havoc Badger does not have a TP, though. This Crystal Maiden is probably going to die eventually. There is Nick Assassin who could kind of support her. Is he gonna go? Is he just gonna leave her to her doom? They can actually turn around right now and kill Senj. I don't think they know that Senj is right behind them. They see Wind Pulse, and that's a tasty target. But regardless, they lose the Slardar once again, which is less than ideal, but he has 2,000 gold. He's really tanky. He has a Blink Dagger. He's putting in work. And Admiral Ray, Ghost Walk once again. It will hit regardless. What an impale. I don't think they know that there's a Shadow Fiend here. I don't think DoubleClick, well, okay, meantime Havoc Badger is demolishing Wind Pulse, but I'm more interested in seeing what's going on over here. Because they definitely know that there's an Invoker here. There's a Sentry, but he goes the other way. And, well, now they know that there's an invisible Shadow Fiend there. Enchantress going to lose her Satyr. Not before you Hadoukens, though. 13 for 4. Enchantress getting, I think, soloed by Havoc Badger? Yeah, Havoc Badger is, wow, 206. Crystal Maiden Blink Dagger? Please? I love it. Please, I want to see it. Tower number 3, will it be denied? No, Admiral Ray will instead get tagged by the Shadow, by the Poison, and the Impale. That was a little bit optimistic from the Nyx Assassin, but hey, whatever floats your boat. In the meantime, bottom lane, it's going to be the Darkseer chased down and soloed by the Slardar. I'm assuming Hack Bashes, but yeah, who knows. Already in the top lane, trying to take this tower. Fortification will save it for now. The Siege Creep does not have his focus on the tower, although now he does. No, the Siege Creep changing targets. Worst possible time. Shadowblade, Shadow Fiend. Oh no, Senj. Oh, rest in peace, my friend. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong neighborhood Dota. I don't remember exactly who told me that, but I said I would give them credit. So I apologize to whoever I stole that from. There's a blink forward for a whiffed impale on this mid lane. Admiral Ray, he's going to not get the Spike Carapace popped on him. He's actually going to turn this one around, but a blink dagger forward from Havoc Badger. It is a blink CM. Hallelujah. But now he's in a really awkward position because he has the blink dagger, but he doesn't actually have any health. He and Papa Kircher are on the run. Artie might clean up here. He's going to get one at the very least. Will he? Yes, he will get one at the very least. Like Crystal Maiden now does have her blink dagger back online. She's going to live, but Reaper. Yes, Reapers. He's going to survive for now. Not going to jump in onto anyone because Artie as well as Admiral Ray going to go up to the top side. Like Spectre has actually been farming up a lot, but the couple of deaths that Artie has experienced going to force him not into the Radiance Rush build. I think he definitely wanted to do that. That's why he's holding so much gold. Now he's instead going to go for a little more of a moderate mid-game build, but Admiral Ray, he's just going to get blown up in an instant. Reaper, wow, look at that damage on Senj. That was huge. That was actually a raise. I thought that was one right click. Never mind. That was just a raise.
Safe word.
Reaper takes a lot of damage, and I think he should be fine. They take down both familiars as well. Is there a resummon? There should be. Yes, there is. But this is not really where you want to be, Artie. I wouldn't recommend being here. He's going to tag Slardar, which is something, but he's going to also... oh, no, Havoc Badger. He's got Blink Frost... Havoc... Yes, there you go. There's the Frostbite and the Blink forward for the Impale. There is just Blink Daggers galore on this OverAchievers, and Blink Dagger in from Reaper. Can they have any more Blinks? Colonel Cracklebags, where's yours? Maybe just not yet. They're going to clean up these familiars as well. They have full vision in this area. 1 familiar down, 2 familiars down. -5 armor on the 0 armor familiars. Make it really easy to kill them off, and now Visage... suddenly a lot weaker. He's level 6 in theory, but he might as well be level 5. Tier 2 tower in the mid lane is going to be the next objective, and Spectre unfortunately just needs so much more farm. DoubleClick, this really super greedy pick from them is just not turning out well at all. They need to be holding down the fort with the other 4 heroes, and Darkseers. How many Blink Daggers are there in this game? 1, 2, 3 with a Shadow Blade, 4 on the Darkseer. Yeah, okay. Cracklebags, we need yours. Blink forward an Impale onto Admiral Ray. Blink forward. Oh my god, he's like a million miles away, but he just can't get out of there. Gee, what are you supposed to do against that? Like, defending your tier 2 tower involves standing back here. That was brutal, man. And now Crescia, well, he has a Blink Dagger, so he's going to be fine. Shadow Fiend, unfortunately, does not have his yet. Huh? Blink Dagger and Shadow Blade because you can. Haunt just for Scout. Spectre will not be able to clean up anyone as much as he would like to. And OverAchievers, they are going to think about going. They're going to think about going for Roshan right now. There's the amplified damage, and well, he's going to take a lot of damage, as the name would suggest. Havoc Badger, though. Oh, he's going to find Christia, wow, this is bold. He doesn't even have freezing fields. It would be pretty cool if he did have freezing field right there. Darkseer wouldn't die, but it would be cool. He's just mostly going to be concerned with canceling his Blink Dagger. Christia is going to be zoned out by Havoc Badger, going to allow the rest of the team. Oh, there's a blink forward for Christia, but he's going to whiff everything. The wall is in the most awkward place imaginable. He whiffed his vacuum, and they're just going to walk out. They get Roshan, they get the Aegis, and now Admiral Ray. Oh, you don't want to be there, man. Does he want to be there? There's no mana on the Nyx Assassin, so I guess he does want to be there. But Darkseer, Blink Dagger a little bit too short. He definitely wanted to wall like right here, and do one of these, the vacuum over here. But it was kind of close. But that's the difference between blinking from over here and blinking from over here, because you're zoned out by the Crystal Maiden. So that fight, I mean, I don't really know if you could call it a fight, but definitely this Crystal Maiden, Havoc Badger, doing some work with this Blink Dagger, feeling extremely confident, zoning out the Darkseer just to buy space for the Roshan. And sometimes that's all you need to do. Wow, really? I don't think I've ever seen phase boots on Darkseer before. Arcane boots, always, right? Gotta get that mana. I mean, I guess. Start punching things. Yeah, punch him. Darkseer. New build, right click Darkseer. Mobility helps, but he has Blink Dagger, he has Surge. I don't really know if you need the extra phase movement speed. To each his own, I suppose. We'll see how it works out, but right now we have the Coven. Shadow bladed up, and he found a very tasty target, but he's going to go for the slightly tastier target. There's the stun, and the Requiem. I don't think that was necessary, Shadow Fiend. But by God, if it wasn't good eye candy. Are they going to clean up these familiars? Yes, they do. Once again, familiars are down. Those are freshly summoned familiars. I mean, that's so far 600 gold at the very least that Visage has fed in familiars. And not only that, I mean, you kill them off, they get money and stuff, but you don't have them anymore. And that's really where the problem is, because DoubleClick, they need all the power that they get. If they're losing what I would say is one of their most powerful tools right now, then they're screwed. They just have to sit back and wait. And, I mean, Spectre's not farming. They can't actually wait for anything in particular. Now, Reaper, he's hunting. Wind Pulse is going to live, but this Hellbear is definitely not. What is this called? Thunderclap. It was called Thunderclap. I don't know why I call it anything else. I don't know. Okay, Christia, I thought he escaped, but apparently not. There's the Frostbite after Surge, vacuuming them back. Reports of escapes were not exaggerated. But Slidar has a Blink, Hyperstone now, rather. Blink forward, already, just Blink Daggers. Blink Dagger is a good item, guys. And this is, like, after its substantial nerf. Those are the days when literally everyone would be getting Blink Daggers, because you could mash it and escape anything. Those were the days. But now, I mean, it seems like a pretty strong item still. Need more nerfs, please. Of course, usually you wouldn't see this many Blink Daggers this quickly in a team, but hell, if you have that much of an edge, then you can't actually farm without having wards literally everywhere. Like, Wind Pulse is just dead right now. He thinks he's doing something useful for his team, but he's really, well, where are you going? Nick? Oh, they actually didn't see him because they don't have ward coverage. Okay. Wind Pulse might actually live. Although Havoc Badger is on the hunt, Wind Pulse is going to live. Would you look at that? In the meantime, tier 3 in the mid lane getting brought down. Reaper is very low on HP, but he has an Aegis, so he doesn't really care too much. Wow, okay. Watch out, creeps. This Shadow Fiend's going to do a lot of damage to you. He's going to get Cold Snapped, a lot of damage onto the Shadow Fiend, but a huge 3-man crush into a huge 2-man Impale. Send is going to get blown up, as well as the Invoker. Haunt is there, but who really cares about that? BKB gets popped on the Shadow Fiend. Reaper somehow didn't even burn the Aegis. Oh, how did that not kill him? Wind Pulse. What? 11 armor, I guess. It's pretty strong. Mitigating all the Enchantress's regular damage. They get 2 for free. And now you gotta defend from back here because Blink Daggers are OP, guys. There is the Blink forward. Christia gets a huge wall, but the Requiem, and he blows up an instant. Reaper is somehow still alive. There you go. He's finally dead. We finally have killed Reaper, but a Blink forward from Nyx Assassin. He takes out the Spectre. Another Blink forward from Reaper responding from that Aegis. Takes a really weak Soul Assumption. Body blocking with these illusions. Havoc Badger going to get in there with the Frostbite. Not actually going to do much of anything. Reaper is going to go down for sure this time, but in the meantime, the Racks are still taking a lot of damage. These Wall of Epic Illusions are wreaking havoc as much as they possibly can at any rate. The Coven wants this Rax. He's not going to get it. It's a double kill for Sanj, and now Cracklebags. I don't really think he's going to escape either, although Admiral Ray, does he have anything else? He doesn't. He's going to escape. Havoc Badger gets his blink canceled, and I think this might be the death of our heroic Crystal Maiden. I want to believe, Havoc Badger. Blink, blink. I want to believe. Run. Okay, guys. Place your bets. Will Havoc Badger make it out? It looks like he'll live. Havoc Badger. Not the hero we deserve. The one we need. What a guy. Oh, okay. Oh no, Havoc Badger, don't do this to me, man. He's gonna live. Okay. We have safety confirmation. Havoc Badger has escaped. He now has a mech, 23 minutes in, with the Blink Dagger on Crystal Maiden. 308. It's not bad. It's not bad. Of course, with all the towers in your favor, it kind of helps as well. Level 2 Dagon, Orchid, is being picked up on the Invoker. So there's some items coming up from the double click side. And you can see how powerful that Darkseer wall was. Level 2 into a level 2 wall into a level 2 vacuum. Pretty substantial. But not substantial enough, because at that point, the fight, it was just a little bit of greed from Overachievers, you know, chasing all the way back here, getting hit by the tier 3 towers. If they just focused the Raxes, they probably would have taken them. But sometimes, you know, bloodlust just catches up with you and you just gotta kill things. But they're gonna go for round 2. And are double click ready for round 2? I mean, their cooldowns are all up. And I think Overachievers, they have everything as well. You have BKB as well as the Requiem up for the Shadow Fiend. They lost the tower in round 1. You can only imagine what they'll lose in round 2. There's a BK being popped out from the Coven, but Admiral Ray is going to be completely okay with that. Using his Orchid to pop up the BKB charge of the Shadow Fiend. Now Shadow Fiend, he's 1200 health of very, very vulnerable meat. But I think the melee Raxes might be a little bit too late. There's a 2-man Impale. There's a 3-man Crush. Once again, exactly the same as last time, actually. Sia is going to be forced to back off out of there. The Raxes have been dropped because they're actually focus firing with this time. Look at that. Soul Assumption on the Cynic Assassin will not kill him off. What a save from Cracklebags. And now Reaper wants in once again. Crush will not land this time. Blink Dagger canceled by something. But the Nova onto Senj, and it looks like he will get bailed out by the Tornado. Are they really going to dive this? I think it's time to back up, guys, because there's a blink forward from Crisio. Wall onto 1, and then vacuum, but the Crush is going to blow him up. And now Impulse, slow attack speed, doesn't matter, because Blink Dagger, Havoc Badger is going to witness that kill and learn all the secrets from it.
Trouble brewing at Radiant.
And I think they're just going for a GG right now, like not a GG push, but like a GG kill them until they GG out kind of thing. Like Reaper definitely wants this guy dead. Havoc Badger blinking forward for a stun. 1, 2, 3. No bashes? Really? Come on. Amplify damage on Artie? Well, he's going to try to haunt kill Havoc Badger, but, you know, there's the bashes. And a heal bomb from Cracklebags. Colonel Cracklebags. And that is going to be that, guys. 26 minutes on the dot. And we have GG 30-8, and Overachievers take it 2-0 over the DoubleClickDota side. Congratulations to them. They're going to, I don't actually know, but they're going to have a slightly better standing. So that's going to be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can find me on twitch.tv/MikeLoris. Once again, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this tournament, Pro Build Systems, so be sure to check them out if you're on the stream. Scroll down. It's all right there. All this social media stuff is right there. Also, buy the ticket and all that good jazz. If you're on Dota TV, thank you for buying the ticket. But yeah, if you enjoyed my casting, I'll be trying to cover this tournament just a little bit more. I am Mike Loris on pretty much everything, Twitter, Twitch, Mike Loris Gaming on YouTube, so be sure to follow me there. And that is going to be that, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. GG.